A very good day to you people. My name is Mohit and welcome to part 2. Let's create that very simple, very effective JQuery slider that does not require a plugin at all. So let's begin with the local site folder. Here you can actually see that I have 3 pictures. The size is width 600px, height 400px, and the thumbnails. Basically just a smaller version of the bigger picture. The size is 200, 133, so 1/3 in dimension, in width and height. And this is the HTML document that I'm gonna use. This is the code. So guys, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use some code, I'm gonna lose some code, and whatever code I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna recreate for you so that you can understand things a lot better. Okay, so let's start destroying the code, which I'm only gonna recreate for you. Okay. So here I go. I'm destroying most of the code. Okay. Just give me a sec, guys, while I actually remove the code. Slider. Almost done. Just a sec. Okay. So basically I had created classes slider wrapper thumbs and the body tag that I've actually emptied. Let me save it all up. Okay. In the opening and closing script tags, guys, I just have the document ready routine. So when the document is ready, when the DOM is initialized and all the elements are accessible, I've just declared 3 variables, T1, T2, T3, which point to elements with classes T1, T2, T3. Okay, and this link tag points to animate.css. It's a huge animations library. And this script tag actually points to the latest jQuery version through CDN, which is Content Delivery Network. So this is actually the jQuery library, this one in line number 16. Okay, and this is tying up with animate.css. So animate.css is a huge animations library, allows you to use pre-written, preset animations in your document. Okay, so basically I've emptied most of the document. So at this point I'm going to save the document, guys, and this is the literature, the what should I say, the documentation for the animation property. This is the HTML CSS document, and let's see how things appear. Nothing at all, absolutely nothing at all on the screen, understandably so. Okay, so let's start by filling in the opening closing body tags. So you can see that we have an outer division with the class of slider and inner division with the class of wrapper. Okay, so we have a nested design. So nested divisions, wrapper nested inside slider, and this is where I'm gonna push in all my 3 bigger pictures. Okay, and how do I do that? I'm gonna say img and tab. When you do that, you get the source and the alternate text attributes, and which is the first picture? Let me just check it again. Fresh potatoes and rice. Okay, so I'm gonna say fresh, which means fresh vegetables and fruits, .jpg. JPG. I'm gonna skip the alternate text, it's optional. You should actually use it, but I'm skipping it to go a little fast. I'm gonna paste it twice, just like this. Make sure they rub shoulders. This becomes potatoes. This rubbing shoulders of the image tags with each other is important, otherwise you'll get small space in between, which we don't want. And this changes to rice. Okay, so basically all that I've done is I've pushed in 3 images next to each other, rubbing shoulders, and They are inline elements. They will actually rub shoulders when we see the browser preview. So let's refresh at this point and you can actually see that these three pictures 600 by 400 actually start rubbing shoulders, understandably so. Okay. And this is where I'm going to insert the thumb. So I'm going to go out here and I'm going to say thumbs. So I'm using, this is the way I code is going very quick. It's because of Emmet, it's inbuilt into the editor. The HTML editor that I'm using, Sublime Text, it's inbuilt into that through a procedure. So I'm able to code very quickly. Okay, this is where I need to push in the thumb. So basically, I'll tell you how I do that. Same procedure, except that this will become T1. And I'm going to give it a class of T1. Okay, I'm going to copy this bit. I'm going to paste it, again rubbing shoulders twice like so. This image becomes T2, the second thumb is T2, and the third thumb, this class also becomes T2, and this becomes T3, while the class becomes T3 as well. Okay, this is for the thumb. So basically I'm pushing the thumbs separately under the bigger images. Give me a sec. Okay, yep. So let's see the result. So you can actually see the three thumbs have been pushed under the first bigger image. Okay, not an issue. Let's go back. Let's start pushing in some CSS rules. I'm gonna allow a margin of 100 to create a padding all around the web page. Let's see the result. You can see how things look like right now. Okay, not an issue. Next, see, slider is the outer division, wrapper is the inner division. To the outer division, I'm gonna give a width of just 600 and a height of 400. Okay, and an overflow of hidden. This will make sure that anything going beyond these dimensions will be hidden. Let's see the result. Do you see that? Only the first picture is shown because it's within 600, 400. Everything else is actually chopped off. Right? Okay. And for the wrapper, since it contains three pictures, 600 into 3 is 1800, so I'm gonna give it a width of 1800. Okay, a height of 400, the same. No need to give overflow. Just in case this was not hidden, how would things appear? Let's save it. Let's take a browser preview. And you can actually see, since just momentarily I've increased the width to 1800 px, so three pictures can actually settle in. Okay, but the moment I go back out here and set the overflow to be a hidden, which it was, I'll be able to see only one picture. Right, so far so good. Okay, very good. Let's go back. As far as thumbs is concerned, I'm gonna say border 1 px, or should I say margin top 1 px solid. No, just 1 px, that's it. Okay, just to create some space. Yeah, just shift C, or shall we make it 2 px? Let's settle with 2. Beg your pardon. Just create a small separator between the thumbs and the actual image. Yep. Okay. So when the document is ready, I've declared 3 variables, T1, T2, T3. Is there anything else I need to do? I guess not. So next, guys, I'm gonna say T1, which is the same as element with the class of T1, which is the first thumb dot click. Okay, so basically the click method, the click event handler, is what I'm gonna run inside this function. And I'm gonna say when somebody clicks here, I would want the wrapper to be targeted. Okay, so let's create another variable and call it wrapper. Let's make it equal to JQuery or the $sign. Wrapper. Makes sense? So I'm gonna say in fact, even before that, no, it's all fine. So another variable declared wrapper equaling $sign wrapper. So basically I'm targeting these three images which are lined up left, right. And if somebody clicks, I would want wrapper dot add class. Class name I want to add is pulse. We had seen what pulse is in the last part. Okay, so if at this point, if I just save it and see what happens, I don't see the pulse. Why is that? Okay, I'll tell you why. Because you need to add the class animated also. See, it's very clearly given in the documentation of animate.css that animated is a compulsory class to add. Okay, so save. Still not working. Clicking on the just give me a sec to think, guys. Okay, the reason is this should be class wrapper. Okay, now it should work, hopefully. And see, this is the documentation of animate.css, and clearly mentions that when you want to animate something, your element add class animated is a class you need to add and the effect that you want to see. Right, this is it. Okay, so let's see the difference. See, the pulse effect, but it happens only once. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove, in fact I'm gonna make a change now. I'm gonna cut this bit. So I'm gonna say remove class first. If there's any class added, let's remove it. So remove class name, pulse, and then the animation method animate with a callback, without a callback. Okay, here the value I want to use is I want to use left. That's the property, and the value I wish to use is 0 for the first thumb, 0, and just give me a sec. Yeah, this should be in quotes. This is the syntax. So we don't need the speed. We're not using the speed, and we're gonna close the bracket here and this way, and then add class. See, we are chaining effects. So wrapper, first remove the class pulse if it's been added. Since it's not been added, it won't be removed, so that's okay. Then animate the left property, 0 pixels, and add class animate pulse. At the same time, I need to make this position relative, that's the outer division, and wrapper is the inner one, right? So that'll be position absolute, right? I'll tell you why I'm actually doing this. See, I'm gonna slide the wrapper inside slider. Slider is the outer division with dimension 600, 400 hidden and position relative. Let's give a space out here. And this is position absolute. So basically wrapper has 3 pictures, all position absolutely, and slider is positioned relative. So since this is absolute, wrapper is absolute, I can use the left and right properties. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm saying if somebody clicks on the T1, the thumb one, remove class pulse if it's present, animate left 0, add class animated and pulse. Okay, let's save at this point and let's see what the browser actually says, how it behaves. So a refresh and a pulse. So it removes the class pulse and then adds the class pulse and takes the left to 0. For example, if this left was just, I'm going to show you something. Let's say a minus 600 px. Okay, and let's do a refresh and see that. I'll show that to you again. So once you click, there's the shift. And if this was, let's say, a 1200, changing the left position. Okay, see, goes to the 3rd picture, not the 4th. But we want to just keep it at 0. Okay, now things are very easy from here. I'm gonna copy this bit, I'm gonna paste it 2 more times like so. This becomes T2 or thumb 2. This should become T3 or thumb 3. Wrapper remains wrapper, remove class pulse remains the same. This becomes 600 to show the 2nd picture, so minus 600. So it will bulge from the left edge. And this is minus 1200, so it will bulge from the left edge. But you can only see what's within 600. What's within? Slider. This should be px. Everything else remains the same. T1, T2, T3, wrapper, remove class pulse, add class pulse. See, this adding the class pulse needs to be done with adding the class animated. That's in the documentation. You need to first use the animated class before you can use the effect, the actual animation pulse. Okay, so every time you click on the thumbs, you first remove the class, then you add the class. Unless and until you remove, you'll not be able to add. You can't add it again and again. If you don't remove the class, you can't multiple add the class. You have to remove and only then add. Otherwise, it'll run only once and then it won't run. Adding the class multiple times won't help. You have to add, remove, and that's the way it should actually go. So let's save it. Okay, let's see hopefully the final product. So going on clicking and you just see the pulse effect, nothing else. The wrapper pulsates a bit. 2nd picture pulsates a bit. 3rd picture pulsates a bit. 2nd picture. 1st picture. Now let's jump to the 3rd. Let's jump to the 1st, and it's firing beautifully, exactly the way I wanted it to fire. Okay, so this is the place where you can actually go and check the documentation for animate.css. Huge library. This is the, let's say, the backbone of how things work. URL element, add class, animated class, and the actual animation you wish to see. So guys, it's that simple. So very simple, very effective slider, isn't it? Okay, and yep. So yes, fruits and vegetables with caloric density of 567 calories per pound or less is what you want to eat, is how you want to eat to lose weight. Dilution is the solution. Yes, boiled, baked, or roasted potatoes with spices, herbs is how you want to eat them, to lose weight. Around 20 in a day. You can up or down that depending on your size. That's absolutely okay. Eat ad libitum, up to your desire. So since dilution is the solution, yeah, these are very caloric dilute, you'll still lose weight. Even if you eat 25 or 15, doesn't really matter. Same as with rice, very caloric dilute. So what if it's a carb? We have gone from fearing starches to shunning starches wrongly. And we've become proteinoholic and carb phobic at the same time. So Dr. Kempner's rice diet, this rice plus fruit juices and a little bit of sugar to cut the protein content for the kidney patients, is how this diet resolves nephrotic syndrome, malignant blood pressure, um, diabetes, and much more. So guys, I hope you found this information useful. You have a very good day. Bye bye.